Hi, this is Caroleena, and this is my 42nd tutorial for the month of January 2014. I was going to make one every day, and I did, and sometimes I made more than one every day. And I just released them being perfect and just shared them anyway. Well, I'm not going to put my attention on the flaws because I can name each and every one of them. But I shared them anyway, so I'm proud of myself. I got a lot of good information out there and in an organized way, and I've been wanting to do that. So today, for this last one for January, but I'm not going to say it's the last one in a row or anything else. I'm not making any more declarations. My work here is done, but I might still make videos. I want to tie together what the last 2 days were about. So day before yesterday was about breaking from the top of the hoop. And then yesterday was about, and all the ways that you could do that. And then yesterday was about breaking from the bottom of the hoop. And all the ways you can do that. So I want this one to be about tying those two things together. And the sweet spot to do this, because you need to be able to be over and under, is right at your heart level. See how it's hitting just above the bicep, just below the deltoid, and it can go all the way down till it's on the bicep. And this is going to be important in just a second. So we can move it all the way low on the arm or all the way high on the arm. And then over the top, we can move it, we can pinch it at the elbows, or we can pinch it at the forearms, all the way down to the wrists. So the next thing I want to show you, I would just practice going under, under, over, over, under, under, over, over, under, under, over, over, under, under, over, over. So you can get used to taking your hands back and forth between them. And notice that I'm laying my hoop on my heart as I'm releasing it every single time. So, and if I mess it up, I grab it and I manhandle it back to my heart. We talked about that yesterday. So another way that you can interact with your hoop is from the inside. So we talked briefly about that break where you hold it, but that break is based on something that in the hoop path coined this. It's called paddling. And I think of it like when a little puppy goes out swimming, they swim, they go like that. That's kind of what we're doing with our hand inside of the hoop. And we can do it with the palms. We can do it with the sides of the hands. We can do it with the back of the hands. And I recommend learning it on the back of the hands first, put them right at your heart, then the sides of the hands, then the front of the hands. This is actually going to be the most challenging part because it wants to land over here, and yet we tend to push through here. So we talked about how you can break all the way from your elbow to your shoulder. Well, with these paddles and pushes, you can push. You could have it here and push, here and push, here and push. And I realize that I'm using the wrong word for this because you're not really pushing it. You're more like riding it. So if I'm going to start my hoop in my sweet spot, I'm going to go ahead and lift it to right under my armpits. And I can either have, if I want to do the ones from below first, I can have my arms inside of the hoop. And if I want to do the breaks from above first, I can have my arms on the top of the hoop. So give it a push, and then rest your hand on your heart. And notice how your hoop can go all the way down to your elbow and all the way back up to your hand, to the tip of your fingers. And then do the other one. Practice doing them one at a time. Practice doing them together. And once you start to feel comfortable with this, I guess, first let's try the other handings. So my hoop just stays against my chest. If I turn my hand to the side, like I'm going to go, yeah, and let it land on it, land on it, land on it, land on it. Come back here, baby. And then same thing with the other side. And if both of those were together, it would be prayer position. And then last one, I'm waving at you. I'm waving at you. Oh, can you do that with both? Ooh, it's hard. That's challenging. That's the most challenging one. If you use your fingertips, maybe, because it's a little, gives you a little bit more give. So anyway, those are all the hand turnings. This one, this one, this one. So the next thing to think about is letting your hand ride along with the hoop. So close your eyes and feel it landing on the back of your hand, and think, I'm going to turn with it when it's on the back of my hand, and I'm going to let my hand stick to the hoop and ride it out until it can't anymore, until it leaves the hoop. So in doing that, we're making a straight line. We're letting our hand go from here to here until it leaves the hoop. But our hoop is not doing a straight line. Our hoop is doing a circle from one side to the other side. So mine is going from my right, which is over here, to my left, over here. So if I'm letting it go over my right hand, I can push it out because it's already kind of over there. If I'm letting it go on my left hand, though, I can ride it around. Oops. And the reason I lost that is because I didn't ride it. I actually pushed it. So it's more like you're just trying to keep contact with the hoop. Let it touch you and just give it a little bit of a move away from your body until it leaves your hand. Please don't start getting sassy. So it helps if you turn. It gives you a little bit more time. Start with your back of your hand, the side of your hand, the palm of your hand. And once you start to get the palm of the hand, that's how you can practice closing your hand and breaking. So if I let it land in my hand, and I close my hand, and I try to let a piece of the hoop stay on top of my elbow so that when I come open, I can make that second point in my opposite shoulder and then reverse, so it's like here and pull. Catch and pull. It's distributed between my hand, my elbow, and then I'm pulling it till it's against my opposite shoulder. So once you have that, you can start to pair like, let's see, like break below, break above, above. Paddle, paddle, below, paddle, paddle, above. Oh, that wasn't above. You see what I'm saying? You can create your own patterns. And we'll look at some in just a second. But before we do that, I want you to next take all of these things we've just learned and practice them while leaning forward. And then step 3 is going to be while leaning backwards. So while leaning forward, we've got our hoop over our shoulders, at our back heart, our side sweet spots, front heart is here. We're going to give the hoop a push from the bottom, circle, break, circle, break. From the top, break, push, oops, break, push. Breathe, Carolyn. Break, push, break, push. So next we're going to hoop from here, and we're going to rest our hand on our heart. And you'll see that from here it's a lot easier to let your hand just fall down with the hoop. It feels natural, much more so than doing it on the vertical plane. So all the more reason to practice this from the horizontal, I meant horizontal plane. All the more reason to practice this from the vertical. So back of the hands, side of the hands, front of the hands, break, 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 break. So now if my hands are over, I'm going to need to break with my arms or my elbows or my hands. It can go all the way up and down, and if I want, I can put a paddle in there, and all I'm trying to do is keep it still, let it do a circle. Keep it still, let it do a circle. Boom, boom. Okay, so third way is the leaning back way. So you can start with the hoop under your arms, and you're leaning back. You're going to close it to your opposite sweet spot, and a break from above, and a break from above. And if you want to do from below, a break from below, a break from below. So now you're ready to do that paddle. You can rest and up, rest and up. So, back of the hand, side, oops, turning, side, palm. And if you want to break, break, break. So you can go. You can also do pinch breaks. Pinch break. Oops. Pinch break. Pinch break. Okay, so those are some of the permutations of how you can use paddles to accentuate your breaks, but also kind of move them. You know, you can assist them if they're going from side to side. If my hoop's going that way, then this one would get it here and move it to over there. This one would read it over here, and it's got a lot more circle to go. So it's like zoop or zoop. So, and I'll show you that now on the hoop to make that sense. Zoop, 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 zoop. Okay, that's what I meant when I talked about using sound effects in teaching. Sometimes you can make a sound effect that gets across more than a word can. It indicates timing and many other things that I can't articulate right now. So, I guess that's it. These are really fun to do. Give yourself permission to bop yourself and to feel silly. Lean over, lean back, and just kind of play with them. It's a great move for practicing beat punctuation. So if you've got a song that you know really well that's on a 4 count, you can practice going 1, 2, 3, 4. Or that wasn't a very good one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I've got some work to do with that one myself. But you'll see what I mean, so that later when you hear a song that you can fall into the beat, you can go pa, 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 pa. And that just means that you have to play with patterns on your own. You'll find your own patterns of, I like it when I do this. I like to go front, front, side, side, front, 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 side, side. So it's 1, 2, 3, wait, is it 3 break? 1, 2, 3, 4, break. 1, 2, that's what I like right there. Break and pass, break and pass. I don't know how to break that down into words. Some of these things, this has been part of this experiment, learning how to break this stuff down. So, I guess I'm doing inside circle over the opposite flipper. It's like, to me, it's like a seal flipper. Inside over the opposite flipper, over the first flipper, and then break. Close, first flipper, second flipper, break. First flipper, second flipper, break. Do, do, do. I think I started to mix up that order, but that really is enough. It's just too darn confusing. I just wanted to pass on that fun way of playing.